Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. I am going to be reading you a book that I've been working on for quite some time. Not very long, actually. 2 days, I think it's about. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm just going to leave this little thingy up. Yeah. So, the world has almost turned into a complete wasteland, but we rise from the ashes. Some are strong, some will. You shoot them now. There are about 5 major groups in the NSA, Nuked States of America, but plenty of smaller groups along the coast and in more. First, the Wolf Gang. Now they are all bark and bite. Bark and no bite. Then there are the City Boys. They're exactly what they are said to be. Next, the South Strong. They are exactly what is protecting everyone from the zombie apocalypse. Second to last is the High Low. And last, and definitely not lost, the Stalkers. Most don't know about them. I do, though. Strangely, once you know about the Stalkers, you would most likely die. But I have known it for quite some time, so clearly they must not know. I'm Clahem, and I steal stuff from people who really need it, in exchange for what they can provide. If they can't provide anything, though, I might do some charity work. I am a nice guy, after all. My signature outfit that I would wear to be in a black hoodie and a ski mask and black tights with a gun on my side, silenced of course, and a knife. I usually do a bit of parkour on my job, since I'm able to grab onto a ledge, double my height. I would really love to have an actual assassin suit that has a metal mask that can actually block some damage. I've been studying up on the Stalkers and see if I can find out where their hideout is, and see who they might be. And so far, I've seen them jump over a wall, or at least what appears to be jumping. I really didn't see very much at all, though. I'm just gonna catch my place. But the second wall I saw as I climbed up was too high. And I've seen them, God dang it, was too high, and I cut my wrist, which I obviously patched up and put some medics on, and I compressed it by, I compressed my hand on the heart rate machine, which next page, discovered if you might have broken it and they tried to fix it, it's definitely not did that. No. So the depressed time is longer, and that it just so happens to speed up the flesh regeneration. Perhaps I've gotten off my topic. My main assignment is to live a life worth living, even in deadly conditions of a nuclear fallout. I'm trying to make a change and somewhat make things better. My name is Ezio, as my friends call me because of the pre-war game Assassin's Creed. I do admire a man of the arts of free running, though I have came across messengers, otherwise known as couriers, traitors, raiders, dead ones now, and even craters from pre-war detonated from pre-war detonated explosives due to the nuke it was set off. I was on the other hand tucked away on a cruise ship to the UK. The United Kingdom isn't too bad, but they aren't fantastic. Back to the real world. I'm thinking for a most likely bet that sorry, I was uploading a video. Most likely bet that that the South Strong are the most likely to have seen the going out duck hunting. To have seen them, most likely going out duck hunting in the woods could have given them this a sense of stealth. So I will continue when I get there. There's the music, the transition music. Chapter 2. Hello. Hello? I yelled to see if there was any. This was them. I got picked up by my shoulders and was shooken like coal and yelled, "Be quiet!" Someone yelled as I rose to a good 3 inches off my feet, and I almost yelled when they got my gun. My gun was my connection between life and death. This person sat me down, and everyone come down from everywhere. The trees, the buildings, heck, they even come off the ground in pre-war ghillie suits. I backed away, but just ran into another one. He pushed me forth. Hello. I've came to ask you if you could tell me how to find the stuff. I got cut off. Who? Most everyone nodded, as well. But one came up and told me, You know about the stalking beings? Yes, they. What do you mean, beings? I replied as well as I could. He shook his head and told me those things are not from here. And he walked off and faintly said, "Continue." I began again. I thought that your group would be native hunters, that I said before I would again be interrupted. Excuse me? Do you think we are just some rednecks that drink moonshine and eat fried chicken? No, you've got it all wrong. I need your help to find the stalkers. The whole crowd went quiet. Absolutely silent. As the person who had recently had a conversation with walked up to me and asked if I would leave. And a few patrol units opened some gates. As I went to my house, it got dark, as I did spend some time thinking why the stalkers were such a big deal. It began to get very dark, and I was struggling to get out of the vines that snapped to my neck. I didn't know that someone from the village or city that had followed me, but as I turned around every so often, and this person had to be very classy, for he'd been wearing formal wear. Chapter 3. I don't know what that word is. I had eaten some of the more radiated foods and taken the rad away, and felt better. I'd wondered about the night, how that man who had gotten that tuxedo shirt unwrinkled and clean. I'd packed up some light clothing because today I was going to harvest the carrots which I had added to my own secret ingredients. Sugar with ranch. That kind of stuff is really hard to come by, but I have a supplier. He comes once a month and he's fairly old and can't work, so he sells his rations of food and sweets to me. I pay well. Meanwhile, I sit down and glance at the open range of animals and woods. I don't need meat often. But I saw deeply into the fog and the wood area and see the well-dressed man. How odd. I say to myself, "Hello?" I yelled to get his attention. He practically disappeared into the fog. I thought he was shy but no. I looked down to grab a small piece of carrot slice, and looked up and see him closer. And I waited for him to approach by turning around and counting 15 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I turned around, and I fall into the tall man, and say, "Sorry." And I begin to lose self-control. I slowly fall to my feet, and I fall. Chapter 4. I gasp as I wake and try to rise, but soon I realize that I'm risen up and upright. I see I'm on a willow tree, and look down to see what seems to be blood. I shake and can't get off the tree. The blood flowed. I began to feel where the blood was running. It had been straight into my arm, and surely it was going to get infected if I hadn't done anything. So I pulled one time. I fell into a deep sleep. When I got up, I stared at my wound, or at least where it would be. I smiled with relief and gave out. Whew. And sat down, closed my eyes for a minute, and opened white. And a screech! Yep. I jumped, and I saw a heart rate go straight up into, and I hear beep, beep, beep. Someone ran in and checked my vital signs. "Are you awake?" she told me in my ear. I tried a murmur of consciousness, but all that came out was a cough and dried up blood. She dried my mouth, even though it was absolutely H2O free. I had trouble breathing, so I could definitely not talk. So I reached for a sheet of paper and a pencil and began writing. But the first thing I wrote, I drew a circle with an X over and over and over and over. I finally managed to get out what seemed to be water. And she brought me a cold glass, and it seeped down my throat without a taste. Of course, water doesn't have a taste. I could now speak, not a very English language. But I said, "How long asleep?" And she held up 3 fingers and said, 3 months. Alright, so that's all I have for now. I hope you very much enjoyed this. I'm very sorry for sometime me having a few spelling errors or pauses. So yeah, I hope you really like that, and I hope this records, because I don't know if, it's still recording. If it isn't, then, well, yeah. Have a nice day.